Since switching to the Mediterranean diet, we've completely transformed the way we do breakfast. We've traded sugary cereals and dry toast for meals that are nourishing, full of flavor, and gives us lots of energy. Today, I'm showing you 3 Mediterranean breakfasts that I have on repeat. Now let's get into it. We're starting with Greek yogurt pancakes. These are fluffy, protein-packed, and naturally sweet with no refined sugars. I'm starting off with 1 ripe banana. This is our natural sweetener, and it also helps bind the batter. And I've got some rolled oats that I'm adding to a food processor to make oat flour. And add in your banana, and I've got some flax meal for added nutrients, some cinnamon, and I've also got some baking powder and baking soda. Add in your milk of choice with that Greek yogurt for extra protein, some honey for sweetness, and 1 egg. Technical difficulties, technical difficulties. And you want to combine just until everything is mixed. You don't want to overbeat it. And if it feels a little too thick, you can add some milk, about a tablespoon at a time. But this is the consistency that we're looking for. And you want to turn the flame on medium-low. You want them to cook low and evenly. If the flame is too high, the top will get crisp and then the center will remain raw, which we don't want. And I've got some olive oil spray that I'm going to spray in. I like to use a 1/4 cup measuring cup for my batter, and I like to make 2 at a time just so I have room to flip them, but you can definitely use a griddle if you happen to have one. And since this batter is a little dense, I'm cooking them for about 4 to 5 minutes per side just to make sure that they're cooked through on the inside. And I've put some berries and raspberries on the side, and then I like to top them with some raspberries and blueberries. And you could also put Greek yogurt on top, some honey, but I like to put just a little maple syrup. Right, let's dig in. Yum. Let's try it. Next up is Ful Mudammas, one of the oldest and most comforting Mediterranean breakfasts originating in Egypt. It's made with fava beans, garlic, olive oil, and some lemon, and it's comforting and full of fiber. Start by heating a large pan on medium heat, and I'm adding in a really good olive oil, and I've got some crushed garlic, which I'm sauteing with some cumin and smoked paprika. I'm going to saute this for about 30 seconds just to help the spices bloom, which will really bring out their aroma. And I'm adding in the fava beans, and I left a little liquid in mine just to help with the creaminess. Give that a good mix so it absorbs the spices, and then I'm adding in a little salt and red pepper flakes, but you can definitely adjust that to taste if you want it spicier or less spicy. And you're gonna cover this and let it simmer on medium for about 8 minutes until the beans have warmed up thoroughly. And then you'll uncover it, move the heat to low, and I'm gonna use a little lemon juice to add in some zest. And then I'm using a potato masher to just mush it and give it like a nice creamy texture. Though I like to leave mine with a little texture. You can blend it if you want it smoother, but this is the consistency that I love. Now for the finishing touches, you want to add another nice drizzle of olive oil. I like to top mine with some diced tomatoes. And then I add a mix of parsley and cilantro. If you hate the taste of cilantro because it tastes like soap to you, that's all right. Just do parsley. And everybody has a different way of topping this. Some people like to serve it with green onions. And the way I love to eat this is I rip my pita that I warmed on the stove, and then I go right in there and I scoop up some tomato and the ful.
Give me some.
No. Fine. So good. I'm still recording. Finally, we've got shakshuka. It's poached eggs and a smoky tomato and pepper sauce. This one-pan wonder is great for brunch, though I've made it on a Tuesday morning with 0 regrets. Start by washing and dicing your red pepper, and what's great is the only thing that I need to dice for this recipe are my red peppers. And then I've got a pan on medium heat with a really good olive oil again, and I'm using pre-chopped onions that I bought at the store and adding in my red peppers to that, and I'm going to saute it for about 3 to 4 minutes until the onions and the peppers have softened. I'm also adding in my crushed garlic, and then I've got my cumin and smoked paprika, which I'm going to add in and let that bloom for about 30 seconds in the olive oil and the peppers. And I've got some harissa paste just to add some spice. But if you don't have harissa paste, you can definitely add some red pepper flakes, maybe about half a teaspoon for the equal amount of spice. And I've got some whole tomatoes here that I'm just going to crush by hand. And then I'll also add that in along with the sauce. This is very therapeutic. Pour in the remainder of the sauce, and I've got some salt and black pepper, but you can definitely just salt to taste, and I'm just using my spoon to continue crushing the tomatoes. And just let this simmer uncovered for about 10 minutes just so that it thickens up a bit. And now use the back of a spoon and just make like little openings, and I just crack my egg right in there. And I typically do about 4. And you'll just cover this and let it cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how you like your eggs done. I like them over easy, so I'm gonna let it cook for about 6 minutes. 6 minutes are up and our eggs are perfectly done. So go ahead and turn off the heat and take it off the heat. And I like to top it with a mix of fresh parsley and cilantro. If you hate cilantro, just do parsley with some feta cheese, and our eggs are perfectly done. Now let's dig into this. I'm gonna get some of this runny egg, a little feta. Oh, I can't wait. That's delicious. These Mediterranean breakfasts are full of fiber, good fats, and nutrients that'll keep you full all day long. If you try one of them, let me know in the comments, tag me on Instagram. And if you're looking for some quick Mediterranean dinners, I've linked a few below.